Star Wars only. I don't know what the fuck your problem is.
People are freaking out about this new Mandalorian show that's coming out in late 2019 on Disney's streaming service. This is going to be a Star Wars show, and it's going to be called The Mandalorian. And a pic dropped yesterday, and it was a picture, set release, or whatever you want to call it, of The Mandalorian. I assume our main character, and a lot of people love it, which is funny because a day before, when the summary of the show came out, or the plot of it, a lot of people were like, I'm not really feeling it too much. And I was like, no, and I've been saying it for months, that this show will be great. And I think it's going to be one of the best things about 2019. And a lot of people were skeptical on it. Well, now that there's a picture out, everybody's losing their fucking mind, which is baffling because I've been saying it for months, but whatever. Anyways, don't take any of that away. I don't care about the Mandalorian show because I already talked about that. What I care about is what's happening next. And that is Dave Filoni will become president of Lucasfilm. At least that's my prediction. And here's why. I am one of the people who argue against Dave Filoni becoming president. And I made a video on it. Go check it out. It's called Should Dave Filoni Run Star Wars or whatever. And basically I argue in that the reason that Dave Filoni shouldn't be a president is because A, he's great at his job right now, being creative guy and everything and doing all the shows that he's doing. He's great at that. And if you're great at something, why stop? If you're good at something, don't do it for free, And so he's great at doing what he does right now, and that's being creative. But one of the arguments I said that he shouldn't be promoted is because, A, he's never ran a franchise like this or anything close to this. He's never directed a film. He's done some animation films. Sure, Clone Wars. He's also done Avatar The Last Airbender show and whatnot. He's done shows like that, but he's never directed a live-action show, and he's never produced a live-action movie. That was one of my biggest arguments against him, is because Kathleen Kennedy, whether you like it or not, is one of the greatest producers, not of all time, but at least of this past generation. She's a great producer. And she has worked on numerous films, and that's why George Lucas picked her to run the company after he left. And so now we have the situation where Dave Filoni is being taught the things that I said he should work on, the things that I said he lacked experience on. Because the series is going to be executive produced by Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Kathleen Kennedy, along with Colin Wilson and someone else. And Colin Wilson and Kathleen Kennedy both have worked on numerous projects, mainly Jurassic Park with both of them, but Kathleen Kennedy's worked on numerous projects, and so has Jon Favreau, a lot of Marvel stuff, and a lot of different movies as well. So he's got 2 or 3 great producers right there to help him and teach him the ropes. Not only that, he's directing a few of the episodes. The first episode is going to be directed by him. So he's getting all the experience that I need him to get so he could run Lucasfilm. He's getting all the experience producing, the business aspect of it, and actually what directing a live action, it's a show, so it's not a film, but it's as close as I'm going to get right now. It's a step in the right direction. And my point to you is, in 3 years, Kathleen Kennedy's contract is going to be up for renewal again. They can either take it or leave it. They can say, hey, we don't want you anymore, or they can say, we'll keep you on for a little longer. What I think is going to happen is, and it's going to be, of course, up to Kathleen, is that during this 3-year period, Kathleen's going to be overseeing the show with Dave Filoni and having him direct and produce so we can feel out and see how the show goes and see how he does. And if he does great with it and the show does great and it's critically received well, fans love it, and a lot of people watch it, and overall he gets great experience from it for these next 3 years, I could see him either potentially getting a movie, or I could really see him becoming Lucasfilm president, because he will be getting the experience that I said he lacked. And I think it's perfect for him. Because one of the biggest arguments I've said for the president of Lucasfilm is that you need to be a good producer. You need to know what it's like to be a producer. Because one of the biggest money-making things for Star Wars is not the shows. It is the movies. It is the toys. Toys for sure. But the movies are a huge box office success. If the movies don't do well, the toys aren't going to do well. And so I think the strategy here is for these next 3 years, you keep Kathleen Kennedy, you have her teach everything to Dave Filoni. How to produce, and he's going to learn from these other people how to direct. He's going to learn how to direct some other movies, some live action shows. If you look at Rian Johnson, right before he directed The Last Jedi, what did he do? He directed 3 episodes of Breaking Bad. And right after that, he went right into The Last Jedi. That's not much proof or anything, but I'm just saying that, the signs for me are pointing to that Lucasfilm's going to hire Dave Filoni to become president. Well, they already have him hired, but they're going to promote him to Lucasfilm president whenever Kathleen steps down. And I don't think she's going to be fired. I think that's a overstatement by a lot of people. I do think she'll be 68 in 3 years. I think she'll retire. Because George Lucas retired, 6 years ago? And he's 74, so what's that, 68? The timing seems right to me. I think Kathleen's going to retire in 3 years. She's been doing this for a very long time. She's about to hit that age of 70. Might as well retire, enjoy her life. She's worked hard for a long time. I think she's going to retire, and I think they're going to pass the mantle to Dave Filoni. Before this, I didn't know who they were going to pass it on to, and I think they would have given it to J.J. Abrams if he would have accepted the job, because he has produced and he has directed. But he said no. So they're keeping Kathleen on for a little longer, and they're training Dave Filoni, and I kid you not, I don't know why, but I really do think Dave Filoni will be the next president of Lucasfilm. It makes sense now. Now that you're having produce and direct, who's better at that point? One of the worst things about him is that he doesn't have experience, and the people that I would want to become the president have a lot of experience producing and whatnot, especially sci-fi stuff, but they're all extremely older. So yeah, I think Dave Filoni is the future of Star Wars right now, and I think this is the proof in the pudding, and I think you should hold me to my word and test me in 3 years' time. Test me in 1 year's time and tell me how good this show is, because I think this show is going to be a hit, The Mandalorian. And in 3 years' time, I think Kathleen Kennedy will step down at the age of 68 after having a great career as a producer and then a, not great reception on doing Star Wars from Star Wars fans, but I think she'll step down after being the age of 68, retire, and hand it over to Dave Filoni, who now has the experience. Mark my words, or not. This is just my prediction, but I do think it's going to happen. I'm Star Wars Only. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think Dave Filoni will be the future president of Lucasfilm now, or do you not? I'm Star Wars Only. See y'all next time. May the Force be with you, always.